Welcome to the first episode of PAFOW Live. This is a big deal for me personally, and hopefully it's a big deal for the people analytics community. And let me explain real quick what we're going to do today. We're going to be live for an hour. And I'm going to spend this first 8 minutes talking about news in the world of people analytics. And I'm going to take the opportunity this morning to just talk about what's been happening with PAFOW and what's been happening in this crazy world that we're living in, and how people, data, and analytics can contribute to the well-being of people, as well as help organizations get through this very challenging time. After a brief commercial, we're going to come back and we're going to have a Q&A with the audience. I have seeded that with some questions that I've received over the past few weeks, but you're welcome to participate. So if you go to slido.com, enter in hashtag PAFOW Live, you can enter your own questions right now, and we'll do our best to get to those during that middle segment. At the end of the hour, towards say 20 minutes after the hour, I'm going to go into a deep dive as much as you can in 8 to 10 minutes or so into the prominent issue of the day. And today it's going to be Black Lives Matter. And so I'm going to share some thoughts and ideas and conversations that I've had recently about this very important issue here in the United States, and hope you'll engage me in that discussion ongoing. After that, at the bottom of the hour, I'm going to welcome my longtime friend and colleague, Justin Black from Glint, and we're going to talk about how organizations are coming and dealing with COVID-19, the return to workplace, and he's going to share some results from research that they've done around how people are thinking and feeling at this time, and how that's going to shift the future of work. So I'm very excited about that discussion. We'll go for a full 28 minutes, and then we'll wrap up towards the top of the hour. So if you're going to join us for that full time, fantastic. If you're just going to join us for a segment of it, completely understand and celebrate that. So let me first explain how we got here. And if you haven't heard me speak before and you don't know who I am, I want to introduce myself. I also want to tell you a little bit about where we are with PAFOW Inc. and our mission going forward. Our mission actually is going to stay the same, but our vision, the way we're going about things, is shifting a bit. So I'm excited to share what's happening there. And I'm also going to share some references to certain articles that have been out in The Economist and Forbes and other publications that I think will lend some credibility to the shift that we're making, and how that would affect not only your particular career, if you're a people analytics professional or an HR professional, but frankly, how it's shifting the whole nature of how we're thinking about work itself, and in turn, how we plan for work. So without going further, this would not be happening without the sponsors that have stuck by us during this challenging time. We were going to do an in-person event in London, and that obviously could not happen. And they toggled, and we did an event a little over a month ago called PAFOW Europe Online. We were really taken aback by the positive response that we received, and that inspired us to do more of those types of events. However, the whole notion of doing events as this big, okay, I'm going to allocate a day or two, is not only a heavy lift from a planning perspective, it's also the reality in interviewing many of you. That's not really how we're consuming content in this new virtual age. So what we're going to do is do these types of shows, if you will, more frequently. So what you're experiencing today is going to be a weekly show. So every morning at 9 a.m. Pacific US time, where I live here in California, we'll be doing the show under this same format. We're also going to be doing kind of mini conferences based on certain theme, everything from worker experience to workforce planning to employee listening, diversity and inclusion, on down the line. So please look out for these mini events, and we'll be publicizing those and making people aware of that on the PAFOW app. And if you're not part of our community, it's free. So you can go to pafow.net and learn more about how to engage with us. The sponsors, like I said, have been critical to what we've been doing. And I want to be very clear, and I've been clear with them, that our North Star here is the people analytics community. So it's incumbent upon me and the other members of the PAFOW leadership to be very discerning on who we bring to your attention. So, for example, today, Justin Black, I mean, he's been a people analytics professional, a PhD IO psychologist. He's a very virtuous individual with a unique narrative that's going to add value no matter what you do within the people analytics space or HR space or workforce planning space. So, we are going to do our best to make sure that we're bringing you timely, relevant, engaging content, as well as the viewpoints of thought leaders like Justin. So if you have ideas, if you want to nominate someone to be a guest, by all means, please reach out to me or Laura Osborne, and we'll do what we can to prioritize that and make that happen. Before I go any further, again, when I share my story about PAFOW and our commitment to people data for good, I realize sometimes that not everyone knows who I am, and I'll be brief because I'm a bit shy about my background, and I've been complimented recently, and I'm really honored. And I'd like to thank HR Technology Conference and HR Executive Magazine for again including me in the top 100 HR influencers. That means a lot to me personally. And I feel a great deal of responsibility with those types of accolades. And really, in my view, and I've been told this, is that one of the reasons I am in that position is because I've taken this stance to stand up for the worker. And when we talk about people data for good, it is a balance between humanizing the work experience and making sure that we are productive and effective from an organizational perspective. That's an optimization problem. That's a tough problem. And it's something that I bring to the fore as much as I can. So I hope you can appreciate that struggle and you engage with me and others to help solve for that on an ongoing basis, because there is no one solve. It's very dynamic times, of course, and each organization has its unique attributes and its unique approaches that are going to be appropriate for it. I had the wonderful opportunity in the early 2000s, after spending 5 years in the former Soviet Union, in Russia and Ukraine primarily, to lead what was then called the Human Capital Analytics effort at Gap Inc. In San Francisco. Since then, I had worked with the Inform Group, which became part of SuccessFactors, which is now part of SAP. I also had the great privilege of leading workforce analytics at Connexa, which became part of IBM. But for the past 12 years, I have been building community on the theme of people analytics and the future of work. I've been an educator, advisor, consultant. Again, I say that in all humility because it's something that just put some responsibility on me to put forth, what needs to be done to really bring people data for good to life. So I'll leave it there for now, and just know that as we move forward, we'll keep the discussion going. And with that, if you stick around, we'll have a dialogue around people analytics careers, and we'll also talk about the priorities on moving forward in people analytics. So we'll be right back.